Hi, this is Lex UK. Now, recently I had a comment on one of my videos asking if I knew how to make a weapon that where you had to collect different objects that would make up the weapon. And I had a look on Dream School, and I couldn't find anything that was actually about crafting, surprisingly. I'm quite surprised at that. I thought there would be a video, at least one, where somebody had done a crafting system, but there wasn't one. So I've made one for you. It is very, very simple. This can be built on to make something a little bit more complicated, but this is what I've got. So over on the right hand side there, you can see there are 5 objects that you could possibly have in your inventory: sticks, ropes, feathers, a bow, and arrows. So on the ground here, we've got some objects. So we've got some sticks, and a little noise there as we pick them up. So we've picked up 3 sticks, 3 feathers, and a rope. And over here is a workbench. If I walk over to the workbench, it says select what to craft. So first of all, we've got a bow. It requires 1 stick and 1 rope. So if I want to make that, I press triangle, and there a bow has appeared on our back. I can't craft another bow because I don't have another rope, so we can go to the next thing. Arrows. I need 1 stick and 1 feather. So I've got 2 sticks, so I can make 2 arrows, so we'll make 1 and 2, and now I can't make enough. I haven't got enough, and that's it. Okay, so that is the very basics of this inventory system. It allows you to combine objects to make another object. So let's have a look and see how this is done. So very first thing is how to make a collectible object. Now I have a very simple method that I now use for everything. Noticed his feet is, oh, hang on, he's not standing on the thing. Right, okay, there we go. Very simple method in my Puppet logic for collectibles, and it is basically this trigger zone, which I like to put in front like this, and this is looking for a tag called collect, and that's it. You can add a sound effect. I've put clunky win in there, so you just go detected into the power of clunky win, and every time you pick anything up, it's going to make a sound. That's it for the player, and then you need to put some code into the object you're going to collect. I'm going to put another object in here. So let's see. If anybody's done like material, anybody made like a wood textures? No. Let's try blanket. It's a picnic blanket. Red blanket. Picnic blanket. Let's try cloth. What I want really is something simple like a rag or something. There we go, there's a bit of cloth. I'll put it behind him over here. Okay, so make sure that you are not scoped into anything when you place this down, because it must be unique and not attached to anything. Just lift it up. If in case, just grab it and L1 and circle just to make sure it's not connected to anything. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to need the microchip that I've got in all of these. I will just copy this, make sure it's not connected, and pop that down onto my piece of fabric. Now inside this microchip, whoops, there we go, is a very simple little bit of wiring. We've got a tag. Name this collect. Wire this into a counter, into the plus, and then coming out of this you have a variable modifier, and this will be the name of whatever you're collecting. So we're going to call this cloth. Like so. And then we have a destroyer that destroys this object. So when our player comes up towards this object, it will activate this tag, which will change this variable. And what this variable does is adds 1 to the total. And then it destroys it. So picks it up. The player's code has got the sound effect in. And then we've got this microchip here. This is where all our variables are. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a new variable in there for the cloth. So we name that cloth, like so. I've got a number displayer for it. That wires into there. There's the display. So up here I've got all the things that you could own. Let's just add it at the bottom. And I'm going to what should we make? We'll make a hat. Okay, so hat. Okay, so then we need a variable for the hat. And another number displayer for that. So we need to make this longer and move this down a bit. Okay, so actually, do we want to do? Okay, so stick. Gonna have to move all of these down. So actually, that's not ideal, is it? Let's not put it in there. Because these are all nicely set up. I don't want to really muck about with those. We'll put another one in. Okay, cloth. And hat. Okay. Okay, and then the number cloth and the number for that. So let's see, number for that and that. That's the cloth number. Hat. And that's the hat number. Okay, so now we've got a variable for cloth and hat. We've got a cloth over there. And here is all of our objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the microchip for our workbench. And I'm going to add a new object to this. But let's just see how this works. So when you come up to it, there's a trigger zone. It's looking for a possess controller sensor. And when it finds one, it's going into this counter, and it's filling the counter up, and that counter powers on this controller sensor and this selector. If the trigger zone is not activated, so if you walk out of the trigger zone of the workbench, and then the not gate is activated, this sets a little timer off, which then after 0.1 seconds on this timer, it resets the count on this. So this counter here will always, when it's turned on, and this not gate will always put the selector at A. So when this counter is turned on, it turns it on. This not gate puts it at A, so we're always at A. So if we walk away and we were on B or C, it will reset to A when you come back to it. So you won't be on the bow or the arrow page. You always start at the beginning every time. So that's what that little bit of code down there does. Okay, so here we have our controller sensor. You need to set this one to remote, and we've wired the R1 button to the next output and the L1 button to the previous output, and the circle button just goes to A, and the triangle button goes to this node here, and we'll see what that does in a minute. And my cat has decided to come up and see me. Hello, Houdini. How are you? Right, so if you hear any meowing, that's my cat wanting some fuss. Okay, so what do we do now? This is powered on by this counter. So when you go up to the workstation, all of this is then activated. We'll start off with A. A is wired into this text display. It says select what to craft. Okay, if you press R1, it will go to B, and B is this selection. So when you select B, it's going to activate this calculator. I notice it should activate this calculator as well. There we go. Both those calculators need to be activated by B. And this one is looking, it's wired in to the, which one's that wired into? That's wired into the rope. So that's looking to see if we've got a rope. And the one underneath it is looking to see if we've got a stick. So if we've got more than 0, so more than 0 ropes and more than 0 sticks, that's going into this AND gate. So we'll see if it's both of those. If that's true, then it says you can press triangle to make a bow. Right. If, however, this AND gate is not activated, I've got a NOT gate here. So we go, if it's not true there, then it's going to show this text display which says you do not have enough items. And over here we've got how many items you need for this. This one is just wired in to the B, so that one shows regardless of whether you've got the items or not. So that's just the recipe, and that comes in next to it. So this AND gate here then looks to see if you've got all the items, and then you pressed the triangle button, which means you've bought it, you've crafted it. So this system would work as for a shop as well. So there we go. So we've just checked those two things. I've got the right amount, and I've pressed to craft it. This then has 3 variables. It's going to plus -1, so -1 on the sticks, take 1 away, and -1 on the rope, it's going to take 1 away, and then +1 on the bow, so it's going to add 1 to the bow variable. So now we've got a bow. Now what you can't see here is on my player I've got a bow on his back. This not this, I want the bow. There we go. Oh, that's the group. I want the bow. Bow. There it is, elven bow. This is wired, so it's only visible if, and I've got calculator here, more than 0 on the bow. So you see there, it's looking for the current value being more than 0 on the variable called bow. And if it is, then it will turn the visibility on that bow, and you'll see it on his back. So we're going to do the same thing here with a hat. We're going to make a hat out of the cloth and a feather. So what we're going to do is to set one up, a new one. So if we just go back to this, so you see what that is. That's the exactly the same bit of code, but that's the one for making the arrow. So now we've got to make one for the bow. So we're going to put in D. So I'm just going to copy that. So that and that. Okay. So we've got 2 calculators. And that and that. An AND gate and a NOT gate. That and that. Oops. That and that and that. So that's our 3 text displayers. Another NOT gate, another AND gate rather, and our variable modifiers. Okie dokie. Right. Okay. So calculator. We're going to wire them to D. So these are only going to work if D is selected. Like so. So this one I'm going to wire from the cloth, which is this one. Like so. And this one I'm going to wire from the feather. Let's see, there's the feather. Like so. So we're testing to see if there is more than 0 and more than 0. Now if what you were manufacturing needed, say, 2 of something or 3 of something, you would put the numbers in there. So more than 1, and then you would take away 2 and that sort of thing. So at the moment it's only 1 for each. You just want more than 0. But you'd work it out if you needed 3 of something or 4 of something else and 5 of something else. You would put the correct calculation in there. Okay, so if this is true and this is true and this is wired if it's not true. So if this is true, we're going to use the text displayer. The text displayer here, we're going to change that from arrow to hat. And I'm actually going to delete that one. So I've got 2 of those. There we go. Hat. And then we just delete this and say, sorry, you don't have you do not have enough. There we go. So there we are. So we've got that one, and that one comes in as the not option. And that is displayed. You can see that they're just wired into so that one is wired into that one. There we are. So that one comes on if that's true, and that one comes on if that is not true. And these need to be wired into the D. So D, we only want these to be active if we're in D, and we're looking at the hat manufacturing section. There we go. So that's that. So now we're looking at this and saying, okay, so if this is true, and you press the triangle button, then we're going to power on these three variables. This one, we're looking for a cloth, and we're taking a cloth away, so that's correct. This one we're looking for feathers, we're taking a feather away. And this one we are adding one to hat. There we go. I think I've wired everything up. Oh, apart from this. This text displayer displays on D. Let's see if I've done this correctly. Right. Oh. What has happened here? Oopsie. Oh, I know what I've done. That's 0. So that's 1. I think I can do them all together. 2. Yeah. And that needs to go up there like that. And cloth and hat. That needs to be... Yeah, okay, we'll leave it at 0 and it's underneath it, it's down there, but it'll be alright. You'd sort all this out. It's because I'm adding things in extra and it's a lot of mucking about, but there we go. Okay. Have we got numbers actually? Where's the numbers? There's the numbers. Yeah, they're in the wrong place now, no, aren't they? There we go. Cloth and hat. There we go. Right, there we go. So if we go up there now, select what to craft. I don't have enough for a bow because I've only got a rope. I need a rope and a stick. I don't have enough for an arrow because I need a stick and a feather, and I got none of those. Hat, I don't have need enough. Now I've put stick and feather. We haven't altered that. Whoops. Let's alter that. It's not a stick and a feather I want. Where is it? It's up there. Forgot to change the text. It's a 1 cloth and 1 feather. There we go. Okay. So 1 stick and 1 feather, 1 cloth and 1 feather. So let's see if we can get a hat made. So we'll go and collect the cloth. I've now got 1 cloth. And we'll go and collect a feather. 1 feather. Hopefully this will work. Bow, arrow, cloth, hat, it says. Boop. And now I've got a hat. Okay, so I've used up my feather and my cloth, and I've now got a hat. So what we would do now is let's find ourselves a nice jaunty hat with a feather in it. I mean, we'll just... perfect. There we go. Brown feathered pirate hat, or this feathered hat. Let's go with the pirate hat. Okie dokie. Okay, let's stick the hat on the head of our guy. There we are. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to try and open up feathered tricorn pirate hat. Here we go. So we want the hat variable into its power, and now it's not going to show unless. So okay, he hasn't got a hat on. Let's collect the cloth and a feather. So we've got a cloth and a feather. Oh, and a rope. And I want to make a hat. There we go, hat. Boom, and now he's got a hat on his head. Perfect. Okay, so that is how you set up a crafting system. That is an incredibly simple crafting system. You can expand on that. So that's the basics of it. It uses variables. I will put this out there, so if you can edit this and play about with this and have a look at this actually on Dreams. I will launch it up for you to find. I'll put a link to it in the description for the video. I hope that was useful, and you can expand on that and make that a lot more exciting, maybe using imagery and all sorts of things. But that is the basics of it. Thanks for watching. Catch you in your dreams.